Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where we get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, including news Fonterra is starting an ambitious China expansion. But first, in the wake of a rate hike by New Zealand's central bank last week and the flagging of one by the Bank of England, the US Fed's latest policy meeting on Thursday, New Zealand time, is even in greater focus. The US is moving to raise rates in 2015, less than a year away now. In China, home sales fell 11% in May from a year earlier amid slowing demand, even after their central bank ordered easing of mortgage lending. This data comes after the official stats were released for electricity consumption, a metric some watch more closely than Chinese GDP. Power consumption rose 5.3% over the same month a year ago. Fonterra announced plans to build 4 to 6 farming hubs in China by 2020 that will produce 1 billion litres of milk a year to meet rising demand for dairy products in the country. They have 5 giant farms in its first hub in Hebei province and is building a second hub of 5 farms in Shaanxi province. Henk Bless, the newly appointed Managing Director for International Farming Ventures at Fonterra, said at a trade conference in China over the weekend that the location of farms is critical because these facilities must meet standards for soil and water quality, climate conditions and sufficient feed for cows. These are plans that will produce the equivalent of about 5% of New Zealand's current domestic output. The price of Brent crude spiked on Friday after rising last week over concerns about ongoing insurgency in Iraq. That comes as US oil production reached a key milestone. US oil production has now risen above its previous peak in 1970 as a result of the country's shale oil boom. 4 decades of decline in US oil output have been reversed in just half a decade of growth. The benchmark US Treasury 10-year yields fell a little on Friday in New York and are now at 2.61%. Credit spreads are now at a post-Lehman low. Gold ended the week at $1,274 an ounce, and New York equities rose at the end of trading last week. Through the recent global political and risk turmoil, the Aussie dollar hasn't fallen, even though it is a commodity currency and supposedly vulnerable to these types of uncertainties. More traders are regarding it as a haven currency, it seems, and the Kiwi dollar is probably getting a halo effect. This is despite officials at the RBNZ thinking markets have gotten the pricing of the Kiwi dollar wrong because they still should regard it as a risk currency. On the exchange rate, the New Zealand dollar starts the week much higher, at about 1.5 cents above the same point a week ago. It starts at 86.6 US cents, at 92.4 Aussie cents, and the TWI is at 80.8. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.